know if, oh, okay. I'm live. Oh, oh, yeah, I think it's live. Um, yeah, so, uh, so I kind of wrote down a couple topics, um, talk about kind of involving predator catching. Um, so I kind of want to say, actually, I don't know if people are in here that went up. What's going on? Yeah, I'm not sure if this live is working. I don't know. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I think it's working. So that'd be good to talk about some topics. involving predator catching. I can't really, for the time being, there's a lot of stuff going on with where I can't really do predator catching can't really do a catch for a while. But you know, that's gonna be what it'll be. But I have a couple topics. I kind of wanted to talk about Mr. Peanut Butter, talk about the goal of a catch, talk about the mind of a predator, talk about, you know, having a system in place so predator catchers could do this in kind of a way where it's kind of pre-set up, where, you know, the government would have a system where predator catchers can kind of work with the government, where, you know, it's not like it's a weird fight between predator catchers and the government. And also the fallacy of predator catchers are competing with the police, and how to, like, let's say someone does a catch, right? Like, how should a predator catcher warn the community? Because there could be an argument where, you know, they could say, hey, this guy works at that place, and then for no fault of the business's fault, you know, because let's say they didn't know, sometimes they could be punished unfairly, the business, you know, so all kinds of things like that. Um, Actually, a good example of that is probably Subway, where, I mean, yeah, I always liked Subway. It was like, you know, like I remember it was like on college campus and everything, and it was like, you know, it was like right there and everything. But the second I found out that, it's like you think of a pedophile with food. And even like, you know, situation where Colorado Pet Patrol did the thing with the hotel room, I think that, like, you know, I could understand they're frustrated, but it's like they weren't understanding that, you know, it's like when you, even if, like, let's say the owner of the hotel, like, you know, had a cape on and just like kicked all the pedophiles out, it's like it still lingers there where, you know, you're thinking of this is a hotel that had the pedophile, you know? So it's kind of, oh, Edward's here, Tio's here, Spanky's here, Redhead's here. Hello, Edward. Hello, Tio. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, actually, the reason why I kind of talk about that part is because that's kind of the stage we're at now, where we're kind of warning um, the employers of the predator, but we're doing it, and I'm trying to do it in the most discreet way possible. Um, and I'll kind of, because, like, really, I mean, it's just no fault of their own that this guy happened to just work there. There's no way they would know, you know. So I think that we shouldn't, like, say what the business was. We should kind of just say, we should kind of just tell the business that and just have them make the decision. And I think that they would, you know, take the proper action, you know. And then the final thing is like debating doing live catches or not, where it's kind of like one thing where someone made an argument where it would kind of show it's not edited, it's not manipulated, it's just kind of like the most rawest form, you know. But at the same time, like there could be a situation where let's say you get the wrong person, like a mistake happens, and then you can't really take it back if it's live. You can take it back and not post the video, but you can't. It's hard to take back if it's live, you know. It's kind of like, I think there's actually good arguments on both sides, but it's kind of the choice to just kind of um, okay, it jumped to 7 views. I don't know. I thought the thing wasn't working actually. Like it's a new thing I'm using. I'm not really. It's like OBS. If anyone used OBS, um, yeah. And also last topic, like drama being an overused word. You know, it's like basically anything other than like the specifics of a catch is now categorized as drama. Like, that makes sense. And just in general, like saying that if like topics of interest that just shouldn't be talked about for no reason, like why? I don't know. And that's not drama. I don't know. So yeah, so Remy pulled over the wrong person last night. What's that about? He pulled someone over. I heard he went on a police. I remember I saw it live too. He went on a police chase. Like he actually went on a police chase. He got in the car and said, "Yo, we gotta get the guy." It's like, no, like you're supposed to like interview him. You're not supposed to. And he was like, the predator was like going through lights and everything. It's like that could have ended so badly. Like you don't, um, you don't. Yeah, like he was like, it was obviously in New Jersey. But he literally followed the predator like in his car with another with the driver, and as if it was like a police chase. Oh wow! Wait, was that live or is that? Oh, he was chasing down the wrong guy for 15 minutes, uh, tailgating him, and it was a fail. They probably got out of his car like, what the hell is this guy's problem? It's like then some guy just gets out of his car. It's like, you can't be doing this, my guy. It's like, what's going on? You know? Yeah. Um, acting like a cop. Oh, it was alive. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, kind of want to. I don't know. I guess like start on or any kind of order. I don't really care what the order, but just that default. I don't know. Thing would be to go in order, unless you know. Um, but just kind of want to touch on the Mr. Peanut Butter situation where, so basically, I kind of like digging and finding out things, and I actually found quite a bit of information about Mr. Peanut Butter. Um, but kind of the situation is I was kind of like doing everything I could to connect a bunch of dots together, but there's a person kind of, I'm not saying like in his inner circle or whatever, but kind of in kind of closer in communication with him, where there's an agreement where he wouldn't. I'm not gonna like talk about anything like specific, but there's kind of an agreement where he should he wouldn't be you know like making any kind of count, getting involved in the Pred Catching community in any kind of way. Um, and there's kind of an agreement to do that. And if I'm like, because I mean honestly, I want to kind of get as much information as possible, even interviewing them, whatever, you know, like I have no problem, you know, gathering information like in any kind of way, but it's kind of like if I were to do that, that would kind of break the agreement, kind of to just have no part in the Pred Catching community, which I don't know if I necessarily agree with, but I do respect it because that's their position. So that's just what it is. That's kind of where, but I mean, it's kind of interesting to just kind of see if like people know about what's going on or whatever. But yeah, um, yeah. The other thing is the goal of a catch. So let's say there's a catch, right? You know, like what is the goal? Is the goal to ask some questions as long as possible? Is the goal like how well you ask the questions? Like what is just kind of throw it out there. What is the best measure of a good catch? It's kind of just throw it out there. The way I kind of look at it is kind of in court. It's kind of looked at as proving having a massive amount of evidence to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. So I kind of think that I mean even if you totally don't know what you're doing, um, you know, it's kind of beneficial to um, just stack up a bunch of info and that you know use that. So um, And also, there could be call-ins at 774-285-1761. That's 774-285-1761. Yeah, another thing is it's like a huge fallacy of competing when they say that a predator catcher, if they're doing story and online predator, that they're competing with the police. Because they'll kind of say that, and I mean that's kind of like saying you're racing a fish. Like doesn't make any sense. Like police, what do? They apply the law. They're authorized to apply the law to information, and we can't do that. So you can't compete with the police if you tried. They're not doing the same thing. It's like a journalist, and there's a precedent where journalists kind of submit either tips or break some kind of story that could involve, you know, criminal prosecution, whatever it is. There's that precedent does exist in many forms before, and I don't see why it can't exist here. But it's kind of like anyone has a right to, as a journalist, to gather information on a legal, ethical, and voluntary basis. So that's not policing. Like that's nothing to do with the police. Like the police's job is applying the law to information, and then just gathering that information with your constitutional rights. That's not, there's nothing wrong with that. So it's just like apples and oranges. Um, Yeah, and also, what are the pros and cons of doing a live catch or just like not doing a live catch where you kind of just edit the catch and make sure it's like perfect, basically? Not really seeing too much in chat. I don't know if I have it refreshed. Oh, hello, formerly Bill Powell. Hello. Any update on Ryan on what's your story? Yeah, I mean, my thing on that, I mean, I've never directly asked him to I guess go on a show, whatever. Um, I'm just like, I mean, it's kind of presented to me, and I'd be willing to have a conversation with them, but like, I'm not. The main kind of goal is not trying to grow like a YouTube channel or anything, but you know, I mean, my thing is just like if he wants to have a conversation, I'm willing to. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of all I'd say about that. I mean, I don't know. It seems like he just doesn't. He has like he's saying something about drama or something. I don't really I don't really understand that, but I don't know. I mean, he can kind of run his channel the way he wants to. That's he can do. Um, I'm 26 years old, turned 27. Yeah, seem a little shook that I'm here, buddy. Why would I be shook? Why would I be shook? I don't know what that means. Why would I be shook? Oh yeah, we have a PP NVCAP. Yeah, it's hard to confess. I kind of confuse the PP NVCAPs with the NVCAP PP or whatever, or NVCAP Ryan. It's like sometimes I get them confused, but yeah. Um, but yeah. Trying to think of what else to talk about. Yeah, but also, yeah. So again, like the topics. What are the pros and cons of a live catch? Because we kind of made it a point to not do live catches because we think that, I mean, it's like once you go live, there's kind of no going back. And, sometimes it can kind of create a scenario where, you know, yeah, I mean, yeah, throw topics in. I just kind of thought of some, I'm just trying to do what I can here, you know. So one, it's kind of the pros and cons of doing a live catch because, some say it's like, where it'll be kind of in its most raw form. It's no one can say anything. It's like unedited. It's like what happened. Or, an edited video where the pro to that is, you can kind of, let's say you get the wrong guy, something crazy happens, you can take it back, kind of. Um, that's kind of why I don't like to do live catches. I think that it could, and also I mean, I don't really want anyone to know we're doing a catch because then that could be problematic in so many ways. Um, yeah, and is Chris still dissing you? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't really. I mean, it's not no one's dissing anyone, but it's just like I don't know. I just don't under. I just honestly just genuinely don't understand um some things they said because I did kind of catch wind on something about that. I don't know why. He has this thing where like I would cause drama or something. I mean, I don't know. So like, I actually spoke to Destine Faches. Basically we kind of had a conversation about a catch with that other organization. It was totally about that. It was about the hotel catch, and that was kind of the hook of it because it was kind of like it's pretty dangerous catch, like what happened, whatever. But but you know, it's like a lot of things were discussed. You know, where I know we went for an hour and I didn't talk badly about anyone. I didn't. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would just say it. I just would. All I would kind of say is like I would be willing to talk to him, and I would kind of respect that he doesn't want to get into that, and that's fine. Um, you know. Um, but yeah, that's about it. That's just kind of confusing. I just don't know. Um. Oh, so what happened to Mr. Peanut Butter? So I can say about so I think I can say what already happened. You know. Um. But PP NVCAP almost blocked me. Wait. Don't like block people. I don't know. There isn't a problem with the PP NVCAPs or anything. Wait, if you're blocked, how are you in the chat though? I don't understand. But yeah, I mean, let's not try to block. Like, I don't like banning or anything, or anything like that. Yeah, that's kind of thing. I mean, you know, from his page. Oh, okay. So that makes sense. That makes sense. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's his prerogative. That's, I don't know, but I just don't want to see a lot of bans here. I don't know. Oh, so homeless. So here's what is going on. So I mean, I'm sure you know who he is. So basically, as far as like what already happened, he basically was found to be blackmailing women, allegedly, you know, but a lot of evidence for it, and I kind of didn't know what to think, but then I got some confirmation from just sources I personally trust that there's a lot of legitimacy to it, where that's about it. But yeah. he basically allegedly blackmailed woman for nudes. And, he tried to make some arguments about like role playing or whatever, but didn't make any sense, you know. Um, and yeah, I mean that's basically it. Or he would like release personal info. It says like nudes are all docs, so crazy stuff like that. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. So yeah, so just docs. Essentially he would just say that give me. I guess he said give me nudes or I'll release personal information. I guess that he proved to have. So it had something to do with releasing personal information about these people, which I'm not sure how he would have that information, but that's kind of a whole nother thing that's kind of weird about it. But um, oh, so it did exist a lot of. Yeah, I just need a moment here. Sorry. I have to back to something going on. Yeah. Um, yeah. So yeah. So I can't believe it or not. Oh, so the proof. Yeah. So the proof is in the form of screenshots. Um, and I guess like it kind of circulated where there was kind of more and more legitimacy to it because it kind of turned into from just screenshots to people that would have no dog in the fight. Um, you know, to kind of speak up about it. So it just kind of turned into something where there was a lot more legitimacy to it. Um, would Ryan, would you box me? No, I would lose. Like not even no, no way. Um, you can believe it or not, if it was true, he would be fighting right now to prove it's not true. Yeah, I mean, my thing is, I mean, I was always open to, yeah, yeah. So I mean, there, like, what I'm kind of saying is like there is proof of it. I just kind of don't want to say too much of it to, um, you know, kind of break an agreement with, a person who, yeah, I mean, it's kind of a complicated thing, but yeah, I mean, basically, the short of it is there is a lot of proof. There's a lot of people that are very honest and came forward about it. Um, so, but there are screenshots. There are screenshots. And it's not just screenshots. It's more than that. Um, it's like multiple people that have come forward about this. Um, a lot of people that kind of came forward about this. You know, that just would have that are very honest. That have no dog in the fight at all. And yeah, so they just would have nothing to gain from speaking up about it. So that's basically it. Because people in the catch predator community with tons of info on them. Oh, okay. So I think was that like a Reddit or something, or because I think some reason when I kind of was digging into them, I did see a lot about To Catch a Predator, a lot about that. And by the way, anyone feel free to call. The number is 774-285-1761. That's 774-285-1761. And it's should be posted on the title, isn't it? It should be. Yeah. Yep. It is. Yeah. It's Reddit. Yeah, it's a Reddit on everything. It's like it's like Reddit on everything. You know. I feel like Reddit's like a way like people first start talking about something, you know, and then they kind of just exchange evidence and information, and then it builds, and then yeah, Reddit's a good thing. Um, oh yeah, anyone can call. You don't have to say you want to call in. You can just like feel free to just call in. Like you can just call in. That's all you have to do. You don't have to like just the number's right there. Then you just call in. You know. Did he? I don't know. Even call it restricted. I think it's like *67 or something. I don't know. Oh, I don't know. I mean, I'm hearing just. There's videos of them. Yeah, I found a lot of info on Mr. Peanut Butter. I don't want to say it, but I found a lot of info on Mr. Peanut Butter. Um, like almost where if I kind of were to continue pursuing it, I probably would be able to identify it like 100%. Like, but I already did they show proof? Yeah, I mean that's proof. Like, what is this thing about proof? That's like, what is like what definition of proof is not being made? There's witnesses, there's screenshots, there's proof. Yeah. How do I just say what uh the original Predator Poachers channel Instagram now is? But it's there. Um, actually, I have a question. Formerly Bill Powell is uh is Alex's Instagram a secret Instagram or not a secret Instagram? Because I don't wanna say something that I shouldn't say. I don't know whether it would be a secret Instagram, but I'm live, so let me see. Okay, it's not secret. Okay, so I can release it. All right, so um, how's okay? What's the handle? Okay, so the Instagram for Alex's Instagram is called Fiddy Sick. It's spelled FIDDYSIC, and those are the screenshots. Those that's where the chat logs will be. the screenshots, everything like that. Um, anyone can say anything. Someone was trolling me earlier saying they know I'm not homeless because they found out my IP. Well, guess what? I ain't really homeless. They realized. Well, I mean, again, that's kind of like if someone that's kind of more hearsay, but this situation is not based on hearsay. It's not just based on chat logs. It's not like they're photoshopped. It really is based on like that connected to honest people that have spoken out about this person that would have no reason to troll or fabricate anything. So it's kind of just it's a lot of dots connected where the case kind of just builds and builds and you know. So it's I mean you know. I mean I can tell homeless to unblock NVCAP. I mean I don't have out of control, but you know homeless unblock PPM the cat. I'll read his comments. Those screenshots are just a sample. There are way more. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of info, and it's not just the screenshots. It's a lot. You know. Um, yeah. Kind of go back in the chat. Yeah, at first, I mean, I didn't really know what to make of it. I kind of was like, all right, I want to wait until everything comes out because I'm kind of cautious about jumping on bandwagons and saying, oh, this thing's true or whatever. So I kind of wanted to see it play out. But then what happened was a person who reached out to me who is just like very well researched and I have a lot of um, to me is a lot of personal credibility with that person. Um, kind of explain other information in which you know that's when I knew it was like real, basically. Um, yeah, but I don't know. Does anyone maybe disagree with the thing about doing a live catch or whatever? Does anyone think like a live catch is better than just not putting out live and then edited catch? Maybe thoughts on that? Um, live catch is better. Okay. Well, like, okay, so why is it better? Yeah, no, I mean, I get like it's funner, it's more fun. Um, yeah, actually, yeah, to like watch a live catch, but it's kind of like there could be an argument against it where it's problematic because this like let's say you get the wrong guy or something, like there's no going back, and then if it's a live catch, people could find out what's going on. That could be problematic, and keep them honest. No, so oh yeah, so it's kind of I'm gonna like jump to a bunch of topics. But yeah, no, it wasn't him asking for nudes. It was not asking for nudes. It literally says nudes or all docs. So docs meaning again, how about this? I'm gonna link the Instagram. I'll link the Instagram if I can. And if I can send links in here. Oh, Well, actually, I used a shared. I think I used a shared channel. I used the wrong channel to post. I don't think it'll be up there. That work? I don't know. Oh, okay. It looks like it worked. I don't know. But yeah, that's the Instagram. Yeah, but it's not like just asking. It's like he literally said, um, you know, nudes or all docs. Like that's like a threat. That's almost saying like, give me money or I'll shoot you. It's like it's a quid pro quo. It's so from what I know the how authentic they are and the screenshots. It's that's not no, it's not asking. That's the difference between blackmailing and asking. It's not asking. Yeah, that's fine. Uh, put down your almost, or I get to a charger or something. Thing, one thing I want to make clear: I have no evidence of him being a pedo. Yeah, I mean, there is no evidence of really him being a pedo. I mean, that's not really the claim that's made. The claim made is pretty much just like just because someone's like, it's not necessarily going to kids, it's still a predator. Even it doesn't even matter. It's like anyone who is doing anything predatory, like basically using like the reason why we would call these like pedophiles predators is because they're essentially using the fact that they can't, you know, the kids can't consent. And then if you're being blackmailed and you're afraid of like either getting doxxed or whatever, you're being coerced, you also can't consent. It's like, let's say if someone gets drunk, that person can't consent. It's like there's a element of, control being there where you're kind of counting on the other person to not consent. So, I mean, yeah. So, I mean, it doesn't really, yeah, I mean, that's kind of, I mean, I kind of want to only base it off of like what I know for a fact is true, but there's there's kind of speculation or whatever. Um, it's a lot of victims in this community. It's sick that he's taking advantage of them again. Um, so like, I mean, again, is he like, he's not, I don't think he can't come back. He's not coming, I don't think he's made a return, like again. I don't know. Gotta run, dude. Just don't put words in my mouth, or I'll ball gag you. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna say anything. If anyone's making any claim that's not true, you know. Um, you know, there's no reason to do that. But yeah. Um, Yeah, so I think I don't know. It was actually something where it was actually I think it was Piers Morgan. It was actually main like when I saw this was like almost the main thing behind the situation of this decision behind not doing like either a live catch or kind of like unblurring it or whatever. Um, and this kind of was like, I kind of like hate watch a lot of um, negativity in the news about like predator catchers, but there were a couple good points. I think I'm gonna play it. Um,
Problem is, by taking the law into your own hands, you might actually be damaging the process of law, and that ultimately could lead to catastrophic conclusions.
It is a very good point, but the trouble is with the law hasn't done anything up until this point. So society has got fed up with the fact that paedophiles are convicted, released. They're released and they're able to reoffend. When paedophiles are caught, and I take your point on board with the fact that you can get the wrong person, well, out of how many cases has that actually happened? It's only, I think, 1-2 cases that it's actually happened across the whole of the UK.
I'm gonna link the video
with all of these groups operating. I don't defend the groups that are out there and they are doing it in a vigilante way, but I don't like the word hunter. I try not to use it. It's too hard hitting.
What word do you use?
I'd have said online child enforcer. Something a bit.
You're posting these videos, right, before these people have even got to a court to be judged by a judge or jury, whatever it may be. You are, in that way, potentially compromising the entire investigation.
Yeah, we do post the videos, but we post the videos for exposing them.
But you post the videos without someone being convicted.
They don't have a conviction, so we post the videos.
So you're condemning someone.
We're not doing anything.
And you are condemning somebody.
The evidence is there. They are charged. I've not had one person that's been
charged. But you know how law works. Law works until these people have gone through a court process and are convicted. Right, they are, under British law, innocent until proven guilty. Yes, you've provided some evidence, but surely it's incumbent on you to, at that point, when you've got the evidence, to give it to the police and let them do their work.
If we have an admission on videos, if we have an admission from that person, there's 100% proof. Surely that has to be
coercive, not coercive admission. An admission when you are intimidated. If you watch some of these videos, these are brutal encounters.
And I've you've seen my group, we actually do.
If you're going to talk about we, as a group.
Think about the children. Think about the survivors. If that was a real child,
I've been doing this for years. I've been involved in the arrest of thousands. No, let me finish. I was making a point. I've been involved in the arrest of thousands of these predators. I want to see them all behind bars. What the vigilante hunters prove is there's a huge frustration in the public. The police need to capitalise on that. For goodness sake, they have special constables. They've had them from 1965. They patrol our real streets. Let's get them on the virtual streets.
Let me ask you, Jim. Is the number of paedophiles increasing, or is awareness of paedophiles and capturing of paedophiles increasing?
Capturing of paedophiles is not increasing. The police will say that they're catching more. They're arresting about 400 a month. When we know there are 10,000 IP addresses in the UK downloading indecent images at any moment in time, we're right. There's a problem here. But they hide behind the blanket of austerity.
To question the effectiveness of the law.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to find points here of agreement here. The worry here, there was a case of a guy, David Baker, 43, killed himself in October. 4 days after he was confronted by paedophile hunters and detained by Hampshire police.
Were you there when confronting him?
I was there, but how am I responsible for his death?
I'll tell you why.
We told the police, and even the family told the police not to release him because we were worried about his welfare. CPS released him. He then did that.
Did video get put online?
There was a video online.
Right. So you put a video of this guy online, right? He then kills himself 4 days later. His family said the vigilantes acted too quickly and too fiercely without knowing enough of the case and without thinking of the repercussions.
I feel bad about it. Don't get me wrong. I do. It affected me.
He may or may not have been guilty of what you believe him to be guilty of. But you never allowed due process to go through before you published the video.
I phoned the police after that happened. The response I got was it's an occupational hazard. For me, it's not an occupational hazard because this isn't my occupation.
What's an occupational hazard?
Who said it was an occupational hazard?
This is what I'm told by the police.
The police have in place
a police officer told you.
We were told it was an occupational hazard.
Told you?
Because I wanted to find out.
Let me clarify what you got. Did you have a conversation with the police yourself?
Yes, and I was told it.
And a policeman told you. Who was this policeman?
An occupational hazard. We're not giving names.
A serving police officer told you that people killing themselves is an occupational hazard.
But the police, I speak to officers nearly every day, and I speak to sergeants. I've even had conversations with CID. Their hands are tied by the people above. They cannot do anything about this. And
about what?
About paedophiles.
But they are catching paedophiles. Yeah, they may not be catching enough of them, and they may not be getting the length of sentence.
They're not catching enough of them.
And they may not be getting the sentencing that you would like. But there's no doubt that they are doing their job.
Yeah, so, I don't know, I mean, I want to play, like, the entire video for all now, but kind of one thing, I don't know if someone was banned in the chat. I just modded, that's a good point, Bill Powell, because I literally just modded, I saw that, so I just modded, Edward S, just because, I don't know if, like, if you're a mod, you can get banned, I don't know how that works, but I just made him a mod, so there's gonna be no question about getting banned, and, yeah, so, I mean, I don't know if someone did ban someone, but, yeah, let's just try not ban. But I actually just made him a mod. I actually kind of thought I already made him a mod, but, I made him a mod. Yeah, so, it kind of made it sound like, where, if it's, like, in court, you know, it's like, it'll kind of make it so that no one can kind of say anything. You know, if it's kind of like, you know, we kind of do it where we would submit the tip and then have the information, you know, go through the legal system and then post a catch. But then, you know, a lot of times where sometimes there's no like, sometimes they just aren't doing anything. And then sometimes, you know, posting it increases pressure on the situation. Yep. I made a mod, so I don't know. If someone gets banned, I'll make them a mod. I don't know. Like, that's literally, that's probably like the dumbest approach to the situation, but that's all I got. I don't know. So I don't know if you can get banned if you're a mod, but you know, I think if I make someone a mod, yeah. Hi Ryan. In response to Piers Morgan, I would say the news arrests and with great prejudice publicizes the arrests and the details of the arrests as news. He has done and still does that himself. Yeah, that's another thing. That's another thing. Where, let's say someone gets charged, right, with a crime. You know, let's say someone gets charged with a crime. The news reports it. Sometimes they even, like, report, you know, the Hillary Clinton investigation. All the news reporters are reporting on that. You know, the Trump investigation, they're all reporting on that. Arguably, that's before, you know, any kind of outcome in the justice system. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of just very conflicted. Like, I kind of just wanted to overly make the point. It's kind of like, it's honestly, it is conflicting. It really is. Because it's like, it's kind of like, I guess I really wanted to make the point that this can be done in a legitimate way, and, you know, and to kind of really stress, like, try to do everything right. But sometimes there is pros and cons to doing it the other way, where you're going live, or maybe you're putting it up unblurred, because let's talk about, like, a lot of cases, you know, even the George Floyd case, they all kind of almost start from, like, viral footage, kind of like a catch, and then, you know, it gets posted. So the main thing we're kind of lacking is, I kind of wish that I could have some kind of lawyer that I could consult with to just, like, ask these kind of questions with. That's kind of what would be the best thing, you know, to give kind of some direction to it. But yeah, and also if, like, let's say someone gets charged, or someone gets accused of a crime in some kind of way, you know, and then they, maybe they take their life or something. I mean, that happens anyway in another situation. Like, it doesn't have to be put a predator catcher there. They could be under investigation for a horrible crime, and it's the police. It could be any other scenario, and things like that happen. And and actually, really, I mean, I 100% agree with the news's problem with predator catchers. Like, if I was called a vigilante, I would flip out. Like, I would like say I'd sue the news or whatever. Like, it's not vigilantism. Like, the definition of vigilantism is a self-appointed group of people that, like a self-appointed group of people, trying to, like, that's like almost kind of like saying, oh, we're gonna take from the rich to give to the poor. Like, that would be vigilantism. Having basically an interview with them in basically a way where, you know, yeah, yeah, I kind of want to give everyone benefit of the doubt. I don't like know if he banned anyone, but if what happens is like someone is starting to ban people like excessively or something, or really at all, I don't really want anyone banned, even if like the only maybe the only scenario where it'd be banned if like, and I mean, as like a kid, I did this too, where people just like type things and just like if I were to just like type, like just punch the keyboard, just like try to fill up the chat, yeah, that kind of would be, it just would be disruptive, but someone can kind of say anything, opposing, that's fine. But yeah, I mean, thanks for talking with us, Bill Powell. But yeah, they always throw around this term vigilante, saying like, making it seem like, what's the difference between this and, I don't know, can you tell me about that comment about NG4W? I feel like I'll never find that if there's some kind of, because I don't even know what NG4W stands for, so I don't know. So if you tell me more about that, I probably could, but about NG4, is it in the live? Wait, is it in the live? Unless it's in the live. NG4. G4. Yeah, I'm not. 6 comments above. Oh. Oh, okay. So I guess they're a predator catcher group. I haven't heard of them. NG. Oh, no games for weirdos. No games for weirdos. I know them. I didn't recognize the acronym. I just figured it out. Yep. No games for weirdos. Chargy. Welcome, Chargy. Had a catch. NG. No games for weirdos. Had a catch where the police wanted the raw footage from the live catch to indict. So it's better to do live because they wanted that over the edited video. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe it might be better to do it live. I just kind of, the way I was kind of thinking about it was like, okay, so if like this were to be, we're not the police, but like if it were to be the police, or if it were to be like an actual, not that we're doing stings, but if it was an actual sting, they kind of have this thing where they keep like all the evidence confidential, so that would be like the default position, and we kind of had no like legal advice, so that's kind of the thinking behind it. And as long as like there's like no way that that like there could be any motion to suppress evidence over that, I think we'll do it. But also an issue where I probably can't go live, where most of my catches is with an associate, and my associate who I work with pretty much is just as essential. I mean, like, he's just as essential, like, as, um, you know, of me when I'm doing a catch, where, we're kind of in this county, and, he wants to remain anonymous, so I kind of respect that. So I don't want, like, one time where I'm pointing the camera in the wrong direction and it gets him on camera somehow. So it's kind of just I have to kind of really try to keep him being anonymous. But then again, CC unit, he has this other guy who kind of always stands behind him, where I don't think people have seen him, and he's kind of anonymous. He's kind of supposed to be anonymous. Yes, I don't know. I don't know how that could be. I guess that would have to be worked out, but yeah, like there are good arguments and bad arguments for both sides. I've heard catchers on here, and definitely on the news, say that they do it because the police won't do anything and don't care, which will lead others to call it vigilantism. Not technically, though. I mean, maybe that notion, but like vigilantism is really like, oh, okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think Ghost accidentally got him on camera only once live. It's like maybe if that happens, I guess I'd have to check with my associate, but yeah, I mean, I really try to like preserve you know, what's the word? Anonymity. It's a hard word to say. Yeah, even once, I wouldn't want that to happen. It's just like, because honestly, my associate's just like, just such like a great help with everything, and so just kind of out of respect, I kind of want to make sure that we're kind of, if anyone's gonna kind of work with being a catch, that they're doing it on their own terms. So I don't know. I guess maybe we could figure something out, but yeah. Yeah, but kind of the notion of like saying, because the police aren't doing it, we're doing it, and that's kind of like, I feel like that's like kind of like one of those things where it's like a gut reaction, like the first thing they see, that's what they're seeing. Like people, like citizens are just taking it into their own hands. What are they doing? But I mean, it can't really be argued against anything other than journalism. Like vigilantism really is like taking their own hands would mean you're beating them up. Taking their own hands would mean that somehow you're like falsely imprisoning them. If anything, it's kind of close to what Rami does, because Rami would like make them do things, assert authority that he doesn't have, like go on police chases, things like that. That kind of almost makes more of the argument of vigilantism. Have him put a gator over his face during a catch, like Ghost does. A gator. Gator. Oh, maybe like a mask or something. I didn't think of that. It would have to be a good mask, but yeah, I mean, I'll actually I'll run it by him. But it's up to him and whatever way he wants to do the catches. Is how I'll do the catches. Like, I'll respect it, but yeah, that's possible. I could see that. But I agree, it's not technically vigilantism, but I think most people don't understand the definition, so they use it. Yeah, and exactly, it's like sensationalism. That's what it is. It's like they call it vigilantes. They'll take like the worst part of like a predator catcher's entire like 200 catches, and they'll say this is why has the police nervous, and they'll kind of make it sound like it's almost like a sensible position or something. You know, I think it was like an example where they exactly, vigilante was like Batman, where you're like beating the bad guys up. Like that's not what we're doing. Where I think it was a situation where Anxiety Ward, he approached a guy who was armed and he was armed, and then there was another thing where like he like was holding his keys or something, and I actually don't know how he did it because the guy was like really trying to get his keys back, but like somehow he's on his hands where like he couldn't get his keys back, and they said, you know, just ask for your keys, and then he gave them back. I don't know. I don't know what's behind that, but it's like they'll take the worst part of like 200 catches of a predator catcher and then say that that's all it is, you know. So yeah, I mean it's like sensationalism. That's like pretty much what it is. Yeah, yeah. I'll float the mask thing. I'll think about that. You know, pretty much as long as yeah, it could be pulled off reasonably and he's okay with it, I'll do it. You're gonna live later on. You gonna live later on Red Hood? On Red Hood? I can only go live here. What do you mean? If he's going live later, I'll be his chat. How about Rami making a Jew cut his beard? Thoughts on that? Well, I don't know anything about. I don't know what like him being Jewish would have to do with it, but again, it's really the same thing. It's like asserting authority, and I think just to get views. You know, it's like something that actually, you know, like he does have is let's see his metrics. Predator Catcher Alliance, as it's called, Predator Catcher Alliance. 116,000 subscribers. You know, biggest video 1.2 million, and the crazy thing is the second biggest video is when he caught a predator that I knew. That was this one, the second one, because I ranked it by most viewed, and you know, I knew that guy. I went to high school with him, the predator. And yeah, the crazy thing is, I mean, at that time actually, in the very beginning, he wasn't that bad really, and I think like he actually had a lot of potential doing it the right way, but he just something happened. I don't know. Like that's really it. We don't go around beating predators up unless you're DAP. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like I don't know. Some reason the difference between like I feel like there's a difference between like Rami and DAP is because actually I saw them like early on and everything, and I feel like they're coming from a more genuine place where they're not necessarily trying to like get views or whatever. I think they get a good amount of views, but I feel like it's like whatever, even if they're doing something wrong, I feel like they're coming from like a genuine place. I don't know too much about them, but it kind of feels like it's more like they're doing it because, you know, that's what they feel they need to do at the time. Like it's kind of coming from, it's not coming from like, you know, yo, I'm gonna make this dude like cut his hair or whatever. But at the same time, it's just as problematic as far as jeopardizing the legality of it and everything, and it's problematic, you know. That's what it is, you know. But I mean, I really watch, you know, like that. You know, I think that when they kind of do question, you know, they do pretty good questioning, you know, when they're calm. But you know, if they're doing that, it's just as problematic. Yeah, I don't know why would it matter if he is Jewish though? Like, I mean, I don't know if there's anything about like Jewish people and hair or something. I don't know about it, but like, he could have been like, why does it matter that he's Jewish? Unless it was like something more to it. But there are definitely egos involved, and they don't trust anyone else. Yeah. Let's think about that one. I don't know. I feel like I don't even know. I feel like it's like it would be just a giant liability if the cops in any way that, oh, like, we're okay with this or whatever, and then the news, which, you know, they defend pedophiles all the time, the pedophilic media would just jump on that and say like they'd actually, that's why I don't even want to tell like that if there were to be, let's say it was like an important, like maybe like a high profile person that we caught or something somehow by chance, which I don't like those cases if that were to happen, but like those catches, because it's like, it kind of would annoy me where like, I don't care about who they are or what their rank is in society. It just matters kind of what they did and the severity of it. That's kind of what I look at. So let's say they're the governor. I don't care. Like, that they should, like, if a janitor did the same thing, it's, to me, it's like just as outrage. Like, yeah, the person has, but it's like they kind of would ask, like, what police department did you talk to, what district attorney, whatever, and then they'd ask them and annoy them and then make it so that they're already kind of, I feel like they're already kind of extending something that, is like refreshing if they do extend it. The police, if they're going to kind of work with predator catchers on any kind of level, even if it's just like literally taking their info, where I feel like the news doing that kind of jeopardizes things. Like, I really think about that, so I don't know. I don't like the news. I didn't see the beard incident, but if he was a Jew, then the beard has, oh, okay, so the beard has religious importance. You learn something new every day. I have no idea. Yeah, oh yeah, so I mean, yeah, I guess that, yeah, I mean, this, it's just like, and that's the thing, like, and that's kind of why I like the Andrew catch we did, because I made it so, like, we just made him look like such the bad guy, the predator, where it's not like, like, there's any kind of anything anyone could say, like, oh, he made him cut his beard or whatever. It's like, it's like when you see that catch, I'm trying to chop that down, but it's kind of like you just see this guy who just takes absolutely no responsibility for what he did, and we're trying to explain it in the most polite way possible, and we're trying to, even like work with them, like, because he said he wanted to call us, and then he said he wanted to have us in his yard, talk to us, and the second he left, he wanted us to leave. He did immediately. I didn't even say like, oh, if we leave, we're going to the police. I never said that. And actually, our equipment was almost dying because it was like forever. So we're trying to be there forever. And actually, I believe when he had us go the last time, my phone was at 3%. So we would have had to leave anyway. But yeah, but I kind of think there's a lot of value in making it so that you're being very cordial, very almost just imagine there's you're in, like, it's being seen by a courtroom, like every little thing you do, and just being like, that's not the way I think about it. And I feel like we kind of achieved that on that catch, because it's like we're just kind of in a very polite way, even allowing him to insult us and everything. You know, it will just look bad on him, you know. Where it's like we're not really doing anything, we're not making him say anything. It's just like we're gonna have our standard of how we conduct ourselves, and the predator can do whatever. And it's like I feel like things like that kind of give it to the predator. It's like they're giving them some kind of moral ground where it's not deserved. Yeah, straight up, Edwards S. Yeah, straight up says he can't do it for religious reasons. And they told him he's a predator and he has no religion or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. That's crazy. I don't know. Yeah. I don't get religion at all. I don't. But yeah, so it's a predator, no religion. I mean, they might have a religion, they just are predators. Yeah, I don't know. But it's just kind of the same thing. Like, let's say like you're making someone like get a tattoo or like a mohawk or something, whatever it is, you know. Like it's the same crime. Like it's asserting authority where you don't have it. And then it kind of would lie where at that point there can be a perception that it's coerced, where if you're making the person do something, that's why we wouldn't even have the predator call any family members, because any kind of anything like that would imply some kind of like pull that you would have over the predator. And the problem with that is, if let's say you get a confession, right, clean as cut as it is, the defense attorney can just say the same control you had to make him do that thing, even if it was like asking them to call And sometimes they just say, like, police, or you call, like, a family member. Then how do you know that confession is legitimate? What if he was just telling you what you wanted to hear? So it's like things like that. We don't want to give them anything, you know? And yeah, I mean, also it's kind of not their stuff, like yeah. I probably did hear that then because I was there. I left when Remy was screaming at him for being too slow. I don't feel sorry for these guys, don't get me wrong, but something felt off with that. Yeah, I mean, it's just, the main word is, like, when I think is problematic. It's like, you have a goal, what you're trying to do, and things like that, they kind of will get in the way, will jeopardize it. It's kind of like why, you'll see, like, any kind of interrogator, they're not gonna kind of do the classic thing where they're gonna, blare the light in your face, like the movies, and then say, like, we know you did it, It doesn't work that way. Like, what you kind of see more is kind of like a very calm interview, because what are they trying to do? They're trying to get the person to give them as much information as possible so that they can and will be used against you. Like, that's the goal, you know? Hold on, not even, hold on. Makes sense hearing that. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll change on the last catch thing. I don't know. That's kind of why I wanted to talk about it, because like I was actually split on that. Whether I should unblur it, if there's some legal arguments that could be made. I don't know. Yeah. So another thing, just kind of a final thing, I don't think was talked about. Was oh, there's another comment. Okay, that makes sense hearing that. Exactly. This weekend, Moose's sketch where they got in the car with him. That brings back, yeah. I mean, invited by the Pred, a stand-byer called police and said they were holding him against his will, and the police showed up thinking that. Yeah, I mean, it's like, there you go. It's like, don't give the police anything. But by the way, going in their car is, I think that's just a dangerous move. They could just drive off with you in it, whatever, and you would know what's in that car. They could have a weapon. They could, you know, they could have anything. It could happen like real quick, whatever. That's kind of what happened in the robbery, where it was like I was actually just showing the predator the phone, like that's what, like, where the unarmed robbery happened, in my situation, where like I was actually like showing him the phone, like, what do you want to see? What do you mean? And then he kind of like did a quick grab, and then it just, like, that turned into a crazy situation. So bad move, and they have the power if they're in a car. You're not gonna want to get out of a moving car, So yeah, but things like that, it's, if you don't stick to your rules, it's gonna backfire in a way where, like, it could hurt the catch, it could hurt you, it could hurt everything, it could hurt people around you, or the person could like lose it or whatever, and then maybe they crash or whatever, and then there's so many things. Here in Portugal, 25 years ago, 30 powerful individuals, some of them famous, they're maybe in football television, were involved in parties where abused children of the orphanage. So 2 were accused because one fled to Spain and the other was on poor any. The rest did not even go to court. The police helped the pedophiles. Oh, the police helped the pedophiles. Yeah, I mean, I'm not necessarily saying the police help pedophiles or whatever, but it's just like very disheartening when you see the system just totally be a slap in the face. Like, almost like, what are you doing? Like, you find just, let's say even you do it in the right way and everything, and you get the person interviewing for hours, you did everything right, you're doing everything within your rights, and still, like, they'll look at you side-eyed, like you did something wrong. Like, you didn't do anything wrong, you know? It's just, it really, I mean, I'm cynical as hell. I really am. Like, I feel like every day I get older, I get more cynical. Just when I see, like, the system just totally fail in every single way. You know, so it's everywhere, you know? Right, and the Pred can just lie, even if you are filming. I think they should never get in their car. That's my opinion. Nah, then you shouldn't get in their car. Pressing someone else's live. Yeah, crazy thing is, like, I really cringed when I saw, like, cause like that catch where I interviewed the Predator in his car. There was some lost footage because it was being streamed on a server. It was kind of like I kind of sat on that a little bit and to you know, edit and everything. But then the coordinate thing came out, and I was like, I did the exact same thing. You know, it's like you think of that. You know, when someone else kind of does the exact same thing, and then something bad happened, and then just kind of out of luck, like nothing bad happened or whatever. Yeah. That cynicism will probably keep you safe. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, so it's kind of like, in general, to try to make a catch not as problematic as possible. But, you know, it's kind of like, I mean, it's not like I'm like, you know, like, smarter than smarter than all the other predator catchers or anything. It just so happens that the most craziest catches that could have gone down, I was on, and I've saw, you know, in real life, so, like, go wrong. So it's like, you know, it's kind of just like, you know, it's like, it's not like theoretical. Like, I remember one time I saw on the news where cops were saying that, oh, what if like the catch could turn to a violent situation where you'd have to defend yourself or something? And I'm like, check, you know. I think there's another predator catcher who did over 200 catches or something, and someone asked in the comment section, have you ever been in a situation where you had to like fight off the predator? And he said no, and my answer is different. I only did 10. So it's kind of, I don't know if it's bad luck. I don't know what it is, but I've seen a lot of shit. I don't know. So it's like I learned the hard way, you know, from anything. Yeah, and I made a video. I don't know if anyone saw the video. But I kind of like after the thing that happened where I think the other predator catcher was in the car. I kind of felt like this need to kind of if there's a situation where that kind of led to a dangerous situation, I kind of want to be 100% transparent as possible, like the exact thinking that led up to it and everything like that. So if someone kind of sees themselves falling into the same thinking that could lead to the same decisions, that they could, you know, not do that. They kind of catch themselves, be like, all right, I'm not gonna go down that path because that thing happened, you know. So you kind of, you know, maybe enable other people to learn the smart way if I learned the hard way. It's called Predator Catcher's PSA. Mistakes I made so you don't have to. Oh, it's not doing too well. Oh wait. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, it works. I thought it was a bad connection. Yeah. See, oh, it's a new comment. Still in Portugal. By the way, anyone can call. You know, I don't know. That's 774-285-1761. You know, still in Portugal. A murder only gets 25 years maximum. 2 years ago, this old retired cop raped and killed 3 kids and got 25 years. Makes no sense. Yeah, I mean, as far as like having like a maximum like that of like time they can serve in prison, I mean, it should be more complicated than that. You have to think about just many of the pillars, like how much can they be rehabilitated if there's room for rehabilitation? What's the damage of the crime? All kinds of things. Like when I think they tried to do something like that in Europe, where they have like a set amount of time where you can't be in prison more than that amount of time. It doesn't make any sense to put these like arbitrary lines where oh yeah, no, it's fine. I'm just like yeah. I'm looking forward to your call though someday. Yeah. Yeah, it's 11 o'clock. How long have I been live? I'm live for an hour and a half. So I feel like when I ramble, going on and on, I just like, it's like, time flies. But yeah. Yeah, kind of another thing is I feel like it's very easy for a person who could just have a bad break and get totally arrested and everything. Like, let's say you get a couple traffic violations and you can actually get your license suspended over that, and then all it would take is for you to ignore a letter from the motor vehicle registry, right? And then not know your license is suspended when it becomes suspended, and then you get arrested. So that will get you arrested, but a lot of these catches, when there's reasonable suspicion that that person is a danger to, like, committed the most heinous thing, they're not going to be arrested. It's going to be like a long period of time for the arraignment. That's not the cops' fault or anything like that. Like, that's a failure in the system because they want to. I feel like, there's people that kind of just, in an unjust way, just don't take it seriously. But I feel like a lot of cops, they really do care. They want to do everything they can do to make sure the person's held accountable. But at the same time, they have to work within the system that exists. They literally can't, just like we can't, like no one can, like go beyond that. Like if there's certain guidelines set by maybe the DA, local government, whatever it is, like they have to abide by that. It's like they can't, do more than that. So it's like, they kind of have so I don't really put too much on the cops, more like the system. Yeah, there was actually a catch we did where it was in another area, but I actually really didn't like how there were cops that said they kept insinuating it was a setup, and it's not a setup. It's like they set themselves. It's like where it's, there's nothing initiated that we did, or the Pred Catcher does, to result in that situation. It's all them, and then all the decoying is, it's basically just responding to that predator, and they'll choose to meet, they'll choose to take the conversation to a sexual nature, they'll choose to initiate conversation, they'll do all that. That's not a setup. A setup would be like, oh, I know that guy, so I'm gonna like create a situation where he'll do something illegal. That's entrapment. That's a setup, but that's not a setup, And he kept saying, yeah, you set them up, and I was like, no, I don't know. And then one time, I went to the dispatcher thing because I was trying to get a person identified, and then said something like, "It's not my problem" or whatever. It's like that's like the most cynical thing that they could say, like not my problem. I don't know. That happens sometimes. That's actually very far from our area. That interaction, but. Yeah, I think I could start wrapping up here. Trying to think of everything to ask. Trying to think of everything to ask here. Yeah, pretty much that's about it. That's all I can think of. This is any other question or thing to discuss? Yeah, 'cause I think it's a good thing to discuss these things because, you know, people are kind of like having conversation about the law. You know, it's like it's better to have like more minds put together than just like you know, less, I guess. So I think it's a good thing to, you know, have these kind of discussions. Yeah. Um, yeah, I think I'll end it off. Yeah, tired. Alright, if I hit this. Wait. Yep. So, have a good night.